Okay, so now we're going to be talking about these major regions of the brain. We're going to be talking about structures and functions of each region. As kind of a short cheat sheet that might help you with this, I would point you in your notes packets. Let me get there. I would point you to this sheet. It helps you know some of the major terms for the lab practical. Okay, and the way this is organized is underlined, okay, is going to be each of the major regions. So you see cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, brainstem, and then brainstem containing midbrain pons and medulla oblongata. Okay, so those are the other three main regions. And I want you to notice that underneath each of these are bullet points, okay, that contain these subregions, okay, or subareas. A good one to look at, diencephalon. All right, diencephalon is going to be that main region, but then we move to the epithalamus, the thalamus, and the hypothalamus as subregions. And then there's even specific parts within each of those. Okay, so I just want to point that out, that this is meant to help you organize these different brain structures and regions. Okay, so let's go back up to where we were. Okay, and we're actually going to be down here with the pons and the medulla oblongata. We're going to start with the medulla oblongata because that's the order that your book takes that through. So just to remind you, the medulla oblongata is this part of the brain that runs into the spinal cord. Right at this region would be where this structure exits the skull, and so above that, which is encased within the skull, is the medulla oblongata. The spinal cord would be below that. Okay, and so on your homework, it actually is going to go through each of the brain regions, and it's going to talk about both their structure and their function. Okay, and you do need to know all of the information in these pages. I've tried to organize it for you, so it's going to go through some of the functions. So the first function here is going to be linking the brain with the spinal cord. It is a major region between the spinal cord and everything else. And so we're going to have what we call ascending tracts, which are going to carry sensory information out from, say, my skin all the way up. It'll go through medulla oblongata to get to the brain. Okay, so ascending tracts carry sensory information from outside the brain into the brain, and then descending tracts do the opposite. They carry motor commands from the brain out to the rest of the body. Okay. One thing you need to know is that a lot of times stuff coming from the left side of the brain may cross to the right side of the body as it goes out. Okay, and also the opposite. Right side of the brain crosses to the left side of the body as it goes out. Crossing is called decussation, all right, and a major location where that happens is what's called the pyramids of the medulla oblongata. Okay, now there's two major things that the medulla oblongata controls, and one is going to be the cardiovascular center, which means heart, so it's going to adjust heart rate, how hard your heart contracts. And it's also going to help control how much blood is flowing through your blood vessels outside in the periphery, arms, legs, those sorts of regions. Okay. Now this point here is one that students often get confused, the respiratory rhythmicity center. Okay, so it's, and this is from your book, it sets the basic pace of breathing in and out. But what this means is it's not really going to control, it's not going to speed up your breathing rate or slow it down so much like the pons will, what it actually does is I think of it like a spark plug, and if it fires, then you breathe in, and it fires again, you breathe out, okay? And so I think of it more like a spark plug that triggers breathing in and out, but it's actually going to be a different brain region, the pons, that will control how fast or slow that spark plug will fire. Okay, so I think of the medulla oblongata as that spark plug that something else is controlling if it fires fast or slow. Okay, we're going to talk about cranial nerves, which are nerves that directly exit the brain. They don't exit the spinal cord. And some of the nuclei, if you remember, those are regions of cell bodies of gray matter. So the nuclei for these cranial nerves are found in the medulla oblongata. We'll talk more about those cranial nerves on a later page. And then there's going to be 3 other nuclei regions, okay? And for the most part, these are just sending information from one part of the brain to another part of the brain. So really facilitating communication between different regions of the brain. You may have heard, and I've often asked my students this in class, that we only use, 10%, 20%, 30% of our brain. That's completely false. They've done studies where they've put people in machines that can tell which areas of the brain light up under different conditions, and we really do use all of our brain. So despite what some popular movies may depict, we're using all of our brain. Okay. So here's some activities to help you learn these structures of the medulla oblongata, and as well as some of these important functions. So I would encourage you to do those until you're able to know them all by memory very easily.